Hello and welcome to hÉireann, the podcast where you get to hear from amazing Irish women from all over the world. Inspired by Ireland's first female president, Mary Robinson, and my admiration for Irish women both at home and abroad, let's tell our stories and celebrate all the things that make the women of Ireland great. For people who don't know me, my name is Ciara Riordan. I'm from Cork and have lived in the UK the past 14 years. I'm a journalist and presenter and a very proud hÉireann. And with that, to my very first guest, she's a TED-Ed educator and an award-winning STEM advocate and facilitator, an esteemed primary school teacher, and all-round funny and charismatic woman. It's my sister, Naoimh Riordan. Hi,
Hey,
how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
You always make me laugh. I have tears in my eyes already. How's everything in Cork?
Everything is amazing in Cork. Yeah, I love Cork. You know that. So yeah, love being from Cork. It's great.
Very good. I'm recording this from Cardiff, just for
Oh yeah,
people listening.
Cardiff to Cork. Very good.
Exactly, the two C's.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for joining me on the first ever hÉireann podcast episode.
Yay!
So delighted that you're here. Before we get into what hÉireann means to you, I just want to ask you about three defining moments of your life. I know that's a big question, but I'm going to make that the basis of the podcast. So,
Okay.
do you mind talking to us about your three defining moments?
So I have a lot of defining moments, to be honest, but I think in keeping with the theme, hÉireann, and when I think of hÉireann, I think of resilience, I think of leadership, I think of forging through, I think of perseverance, all those traits really. So I was teaching away. I teach primary school level, and even though we all teach the core subjects, there's additional subjects with that. And I suppose I found my niche in STEM and especially STEAM as well in primary school. So STEAM is the STEM plus the arts. And the arts is just not art. It could be creative design. It could be marketing. It could be anything that applies to the project. So I found my niche. And once I found my niche, I was off then. I was really comfortable. I really enjoyed signing up to all the different workshops, entering competitions for STEM and so on. And I just absolutely loved it. I took to it like a duck to water, actually. So that went on for a good few years. And then this opportunity arrived from the European Space Agency, the Irish division. And you had to apply. And you had to say why you would be picked to represent Ireland over in Holland for a summer course, basically. So I applied, and there were six of us picked. Six of us were picked in Ireland, and I was one from Cork. There was one from all different counties: Galway, Dublin, Clare, and so on. So we arrived over, the six of us. We'd never met before, and we got on like a house on fire because we all love STEM. We all had a good sense of humor, which is great. And we just absolutely relished over there, and just we had a ball. And they showed us all the different areas of the European Space Agency. They showed us, they had a Maria setup of Mars, and there was people coding, like that was their actual job. They were adults, and they were coding robots to go up and down the different craters and the mountains they'd made and all the rest of it. So while I was teaching in a primary school in Cork at the time, I was running an after school club, an after school program, and it started very basic, just with me teaching coding, because I teach coding as well, and an art class. And then eventually it got bigger and bigger because the school was located within the city. So we were able to get students from all the different universities and colleges to come with their expertise and their skills that they were learning. And we had a veterinarian class for kids. Now it was done on toys and teddy bears and so on. We had engineering, we had maths class, but a fun one. They're all fun, problem solving, things like that. So that had built up over the years. And then I applied. They said, why would you like to be picked? So I said all of the things that I had done. So once we went over there, and they showed us all the different areas, and we met astronauts, and they were amazing, very, very grounded, very lovely, lovely people. A lot of common sense, actually. Um, I could see then the pipeline. I could see from where I was in primary school and where they were going to end up. So I could see the educational pipeline. I could see the choices of subjects. I could see, the more exposure that they had to different subjects before they ever hit secondary school, was going to make a positive impact in their lives, basically. So I came back from that, and then we continued on, and the six of us, we were involved in all different projects with the European Space Agency for a good bit, which would have been filtered down through the Irish curriculum. And then the next thing was, I used to always watch TED Talks, and they were a big hit back. This is around 2016, and they were really big at the time, and I used to watch them. And the next thing, out came this application form for they were looking for 25. They were going to have a cohort of 25 people from around the world who had impacted or who had were looking for a challenge, basically. So I applied, and it was a bit like Ireland's Got Talent, because there was about 1,000 people after applying, and then it whittled down. So I had to do a couple of different Zoom calls, interviews, and it just went on and on and on. Eventually, I got in. I was the first Irish teacher to get onto the TED-Ed cohort, and over we went. The 25 of us, up from all around the world. I'm still in contact with them now. And this is back in 2016, and there was an awful lot of talk about STEM, and that we were going to be the leaders in STEM in Ireland, and it was going to be filtered through the schools. But at the time, there was really nothing, right? There was nothing there. And I wanted to make an explanatory STEM video. That was my basis, because it wasn't there at the time. So over I went, and within the 25 of us, only 10 of us were going to get picked after this weekend. They were going to fund our dream, really, or whatever you put forward, your project to be selected. So after the weekend, we had all different workshops, and we had all different interviews. They were calling us all the time for different chats. I came home and I got the email saying that I had been selected. So they had supported me. They had their animators onto me, and within 9 months, you had to have your project completed. So within the 9 months, I created the STEAM animation, and I was flown back over to New York, and I had to present it on the TED Talk stage. So I did that, and they were delighted with it. So that was great. And then what happened then? That was really big.
That sounds like enough.
That was 2015. That was from about 2000 to 2016, roughly.
Okay. So we've got two defining moments there.
Yeah.
Okay, very good.
One had a knock-on effect to the other. You see, you know what I mean? And I think realistically, once I found my niche, which was the STEM, and I just loved it, and I loved the projects and everything. And then I started to attend all these workshops that they were, SFI had all these initiatives. And the more I went to them, the more I was enjoying it, and the more my name went on things, and the more my email address went out. And then the more I started applying to things. And that's the main aim of the game here. People are saying to me, how do you get onto these courses? How do you get onto these things? It's perseverance. You have to keep your name in the game. You have to keep your name in the hat at all times. That's basically what it comes down to. And show willingness that you are here, you're ready, and you're willing to take on the work. Because it was a lot of work. I was teaching all day, and then I'd come home, and then the evenings I was constantly working, constantly at the time. But I enjoyed it so much, and you just had to show that you were there to do business, basically.
Yeah.
So that was the two of those. And then eventually, I think in 2018, they asked me then to go to TED-Ed Women, to the TED Women Conference. And that was in Palm Springs in California. So I flew over there, and then I was on a panel I think it was 5 of us all together from the cohort, the 25 that made it there, speaking about what we had done and so on. So that was amazing. That was really amazing.
That's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, it was really, really good. And then
Is this number 3?
This is number 3, yeah. This is just before COVID. So I come back from all of this, and I'm still teaching. I haven't taken a day off, because TED-Ed. So you have TED Talks, but there's a branch called TED-Ed, TED Education. So they were working with teachers around the world. So they kind of slotted in what we needed to do during we told them, like, I had Easter break, I had midterm break, I had summer. So I would be working obviously in the evenings, but then if I needed to present something or whatever, they'd make sure that it was aligned from when I was off. So I never took any time off work. So my third one was in 2019. I think at that stage, a lot of my work had been publicized through social media, which was fine. It's grand. And a past teacher, Mr. Dal O'Donovan from Dunamore. I went to school in Sculvura Gone Small in Blarney. That was my secondary school. And every year they put forward names for the awards night. And the awards night is really for the people who've done their leaving cert and they've got, 600 points and this, that, and the other. But they also have an award called the Past Distinguished Pupil Award, for people who've just, done very well in their lives and so on. So I got the call and that I'd been selected and I couldn't believe it. I think I cried for about a week after it. And it was Mr. Donovan who put me forward. And he can have whatever he wants, whatever he wants. Don't put that in. That sounds awful, actually. Don't make sense. But I think I cried. I actually cried for about a week after it. I just couldn't believe it.
Yeah.
So on the night, I made a speech that night and I said to the teachers who were still there, the same people, well, more or less the same people who taught me when I was in secondary school. And I just said to them, I get it now because I'm a teacher. I totally get the stress that you're under. But they were so lovely. When I think back, they were so lovely. They were so kind to us every day. And I couldn't thank them enough for, the way they were with us when we were this is 20 years ago, I left school in 1999. So that was 20 years ago. So I just couldn't thank them enough for just the way they were. They were so kind to us. And they were just so proud of me and what I had achieved. And they, that they wanted that to be shared with the school community and everything. So it was just a fantastic night, really.
Yeah.
And I suppose it was a realization that of all the hard work that I've done in the last 20 years, realistically, it was just great for somebody just kind of to validate that too, which was lovely, I thought.
Exactly. And like a full circle moment.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. Yeah. So then COVID happened. And then once COVID happened, I was grounded then. So before that, I'd teach, I'd work in the evenings, and then I was flying around the world basically doing different projects. COVID came, I was still teaching, but I was grounded physically on the ground. And that I found that very, very hard. Like most people did, to be honest. I mean, for everybody. And in the meantime, I changed schools. And I'm in a different school now. I'm there. It's my 4th year in that school. And when I arrived there, there was no STEM really, So I started that all up there and got that going, which was fantastic. And just there in January 2026, like last month, I applied again for another award just to see would we get it, and we got it. So we won in the STEM in Your Community is the name of the award, and I won it through STEM Southwest.
That's brilliant.
Mhm.
One thing that came to mind actually during COVID was actually, and I know you haven't written it down as a defining moment, but
Yeah.
you took up art and you
Oh
ended
yeah.
up being an amazing art, like the art was amazing.
Totally forgot about that actually. So during COVID, I was teaching on my laptop. Okay. So I would have been used to be in the classroom, constantly on the go. And now I'm sitting down in front of a laptop and the children are on the laptop with me. We're Zoom calling each other. And this was not I am a social being, and I know some people love working from home. That does not suit me at all. I learned that the hard way through COVID. It does not suit me at all. I'm better off up and about, talking to people, hands on, all that kind of stuff. So I was beginning to lose my mind. That's really what happened. And I realized that I would have been doing art in the class with the children. Okay. But in my mind, I wasn't doing the art. So I was never doing art. In my brain, I was thinking, I was never doing art. But really, I was doing art all the time inside the class with them. And then one day, I just couldn't take it anymore. And I got out a piece of paper and I started painting it. And I felt so much better after it. I was like, oh my God, I need to start painting. So I ordered a few cheap boards off Amazon or whatever, and I got a few paints. I started messing around, but I just felt better after. That was the whole thing. I just felt so much better after it. And then eventually it just happened to turn out that I looked well, because art is very subjective. So it looked well. And then I was thinking, oh, I really enjoy this. What could I do? This is during COVID now when I was grounded. So you have to remember, whether if I'm teaching, I'm always doing something else on the side. So that would have been my balance. So there would have been no balance there. I would have been teaching all day and then I would have been still in the same house basically and nowhere to go. So the painting came into effect then. So then I was thinking, God, maybe I might do a course or something, just something light. So I went to the Crawford and I applied for a level 9, not a master's now, but a level 9 in creativity and change is what it's called. And it's all about the SDGs, the Sustainable Development Goals, and how you can use all different types of mediums, clay, paint, acrylics, whatever, to get your point across, basically. And I thought that'd be fabulous because most of all, whatever I do, I like to integrate it back into the classroom, you know? So, okay, I do it for myself, but I like to pass it on as well. So I was thinking that'd be great. So off I went. I signed up for the year and it was one weekend a month, but you're fully immersed for the weekend. And it was absolutely the best thing I ever did. It was amazing. And it was so out of my comfort zone. I enjoyed it. And then at the very end of it, there was a competition. You had to make something, right? So I decided I'd really research like old mobile phones and like where the materials were coming from and how it was destroying the earth. And so I emailed into the school, and I said, anybody with old technology, old phones that no longer they're using, I'm thinking about building a robot. Well, I got boxes and boxes and boxes and boxes of old technology and phones and everything. And I put it together and I made a robot. Now the robot did not move, but it looked very well, right? It was an installation. And I won the President's Prize.
Naoimh, high achiever, banana hÉireann. Oh, you're good.
Oh my
Yes.
God. I just have to laugh at that. It's just so funny.
Oh,
But
God.
yeah, so the robot, yeah.
So are you taking a break now
Yeah.
after all that?
Yeah.
Um,
So that's that. Yeah.
that's that. Lots of defining moments for you.
Yeah.
And the true sense of a banana hÉireann, I would say.
Thanks, Kira. Back
What
at you.
what comes to mind when you think of banana hÉireann, when you think of that term?
So when I saw the question and I thought, okay, well, my very first figure, a political figure that I can remember, my first ever was Mary Robinson. And it was because I went to school in Dunamore in St. Locteen's and they had built a new community centre there. There was a basketball court and there was upstairs and it was absolutely amazing. And it was 1991 when she arrived and I would have been in 5th class. So I was 11. And I can remember the weeks and weeks and weeks of preparation for us getting ready for her to arrive. And we were practicing our guard of honour. We were practicing around a V and on the tin whistle. And I had never known about a political figure before that because I was only 11, I was a child. And back then we didn't have any social media, there was no internet. So in the evenings, I wouldn't even be watching the news. I'd be out playing football or I'd be doing my homework or whatever. So all of a sudden we knew all about her. She was the first female president. I knew her inside out but before she arrived. And I still remember her driving in the car and we're waving with our Irish flags in the Guard of Honour as she's driving down into the front of the community centre. So she was it. She was my first ever political figure that I remember. And the impact she had was incredible. It was just incredible, you know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for all the
For
girls.
everybody. For everybody. Yeah.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
everybody, exactly.
Mm.
And then was there any other Irish women that came to mind?
So her Mary O'Rourke, I really, really loved her. She passed away in 2024. However, the reason I liked her, and I don't care what political party you come from, to be honest, because I don't affiliate with any political party. However, I think it's incredibly important to have women in politics and be in the European Parliament to, stand up for us and speak on our behalf. It was Mary O'Rourke. I can remember her going on to not just political panels, but like opinion panels. And there used to be shows years ago, like Midday and today with Dahi and Mara and all that kind of stuff. And she'd come on and she was such a wonderful guest. So normally when they come on, they have an agenda and they say what they need to say and then they get off, right? Okay. But she wasn't that. She was herself. She'd come on as herself each time. They'd ask her, okay, a couple of, political questions. She'd answer them straight out. But then she'd have a normal chat with them about what's going on in the world, what's happening today, what's happening with her life, with her children. And she was a former teacher as well, actually. And I know not a lot of teachers go into politics because they're civil servants already. And it's kind of like, it seems to be like an elite that seems natural. But the thing is, if you're in teaching, you are in the community. You're with parents, you're with children, you know exactly what's going on all the time. And so you can relay their issues, I suppose, really, and you're at the heart of it. You know what's going on. And I just found her actually very witty, very straightforward. Yeah. And was very honest. And I think that's just a really credible thing. And I liked her. I liked her. That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, she had a great sense of humor.
Very good.
So the best advice you were given from Man hÉireann or Manon hÉireann?
Well, I was going to say it, but now I've thought about it, and I'm going to say, like, don't let the baddies get you down. Don't listen to them, because if they're worried about what you're doing, they need to worry about themselves. You keep doing what you're doing. If you're in the middle of it, keep going. Just keep going. That's it.
So don't
Yeah.
let the baddies get you down.
Don't let the baddies get you down.
Or if you're off the podcast, you can make
Say the words. Yeah.
you can say a badder word.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about your favorite Irish word or saying? And it can be in Irish or English.
Okay, so I have a couple of different Irish words. I just love saying them. They roll off the tongue. Roll off the tongue. I have hÉireann, as fast as the wind. I just think that's a beautiful saying. I also have smithereeny, so it comes down to smithereens. I think it's beautiful.
What's
Uh,
smither? As in small.
Smithereeny means it falls like little tiny shreds. If something was to break, a glass was to break, it could break into smithereens, basically. I just think it's beautiful. What was my other one now? HÉireann, smithereeny. Oh yes, Extella Bashti. It's lashing rain. Because we talk about all the different types of rain, and it can be Extella Bashti, which is lashing rain. Yeah, I love that. Yeah.
There's lots of lashing rain coming to Cork and Cardiff.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Okay, brilliant. Thank you for all of that. That was amazing. I'm going to do a quick fire round.
Okay.
So Tayto crisps or King crisps?
Tato.
Lyons tea or Barry's tea?
Lines, but would drink any tea.
How many cups of tea do you drink a day?
Okay. I'd say 5 on a good day. And if I'm off, God only knows, I love tea. Just love it. Just love it.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
Can I just say thank you so much for asking me to be on your podcast? And I'm the very first episode. Hopefully it'll get aired. Hopefully you won't ban me. I was on my best behavior, Ciara. Best behavior.
You were great. You were great. Actually, I don't need to even ask the questions. You can just talk.
Talk away.
Talk away.
And I wish you all success in the future. I think it's a wonderful idea. I think Manon hÉireann, the women of Ireland need a voice wherever they go. And we have wonderful Manon hÉireann all over the world, whether they're in sport, literature, music, comedy. They are just rocking it at the moment. They're doing amazing stuff.
They really are. And
I'm so proud to be one.
Yeah, so am I. So am I. Go Manon hÉireann. Woohoo.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks so much. I hope you have a good evening, and sure, look, I'll ring you offline as you are my sister.
Thanks, talk later.
Bye.
Slán.
Slán.